Hello, today we're gonna review the Tamron 24 to 70 millimeters DI VC USD lens. This is a lens for the Canon EF mount, full frame mount. It's a standard lens. Uh, a really nice feature of this lens is this lock button, so you can lock it in at 24 millimeters and you can add zoom. So when you carry it around, it's really nice to have it. So again, it goes from 24 millimeters wide to 70, short telephoto, useful for lots of things, but also for portraits. And the zoom ring is moving a bit stiff, but pretty nice, I would say. About the focus ring, I would say it's more designed for autofocus because it's pretty small, but it moves really easy, really smooth, and it has a maximum range. Let's say it turns around somewhere between a quarter and half of all the way. Of course, it had a metal mount, right? Again, it has the USD focus motor, the ultrasonic motor, which somehow is supposed to copy the USM motor from the Canon lens. The switches to autofocus and manual focus are really secure, so you cannot turn this accidentally on or off. So this is both for the focus and also for the VC. The optical stabilization. About the front element, so it doesn't rotate while you zoom in or out, and neither while you focus, so it's fixed, and this is really nice if you use filters. It has a filter diameter of 82 millimeters and a maximum diameter of 88 millimeters. Okay, what else? It has inside, it has 17 lenses in 12 groups, and what's really nice about it, it has 9 diaphragm blades, so you can get a cool, nice, smooth bokeh. The maximum length of this lens is 108, well, the maximum, the length of the lens is 108 millimeters, and the weight is about 825 grams, so this is not a light lens, but it's pretty okay, not too heavy also. So yeah, let's see, today we're gonna test this lens for sharpness and for distortion and vignetting, and we will try to come up a conclusion upon it. So let's see, let's get to it.
First, we're gonna test this lens on a full frame sensor camera, Canon EOS RP, and we can see it's very sharp from f2.8 all across the frame, in the center but also in the corners, so very good result. At f4 we see a slight improvement in the corners, and the center is still sharp, and 5.6 again a similar performance, very good, very sharp. At f8 it's tack sharp all across the frame, corner to corner, center it's incredible. At f11 the diffraction effects are showing a bit, but it's still very sharp, it's not soft. And of course from f16 the diffraction come into play, and the image gets soft and softer at f22. Yes, let's see now at 35 millimeters, again very good performance, straight from f2.8 we get tack sharp image in the center, and pretty good, pretty sharp image in the corners. At f4 again, similar performance. The corners get a little better, and the center is of course very sharp. So from f5.6 to f11, I can say this lens is sharp corner to corner, no matter where you look. And yeah, again at f11 the sharpness is still there, but the diffraction effects come into play, and the image becomes a little softer. Very still usable image at f16, it's good, but on a crop sensor we could use f11 and it would be much better. But f22 I wouldn't use it. So diffraction is too much. The effects of it are too much. At the 50 millimeters f2.8, it's pretty sharp, I can say, all across the frame. Although in the corners, as you saw, and you saw at f4 again, I switched a bit, so the focus plane, these books are not perpendicular to what I'm shooting, and the corners are not really in sharp at f2.8 especially, but also at f4, sorry, you can see it. But again, this lens performs very well, straight from f2.8 up to f11. So very good results. I'm impressed. Okay, and now let's see the telephoto end, 70 millimeters. Let's see the performance. Again, the same issue. You see the corners, they are not actually, they are sharp, but they're not in focus. That's why you see them a little blurred. I can tell you that indeed at f2.8 the corners are a bit soft. It's not very sharp. It's not as in the center. But from f4 and more from f5.6, again it will be very sharp, as you can see in these images, and it will be very sharp also in the corners. So to cover the whole range, indeed the 70 millimeters end is a bit soft at f2.8 in the corners, that is, because in the center it's tack sharp like all the other focal lengths. But from f4 and f5.6 all the way to f16, it's tack sharp all across the frame. So very good performance indeed. Now let's see how this lens handles the vignetting. You see at 24 millimeters the barrel distortion, it's big, it's huge, I can say, and also the vignetting is very noticeable. You can clearly see it, and the vignetting stays there until f8 at least, I can say. It decreases. At 35 millimeters, you see the barrel distortion is still there, but not as huge as 24 millimeters. And again, the vignetting is present, but as you step down to f4, f5.6, it gets better. But you can see it up to f5.6, f8 maybe. It's similar performance at 50 millimeters and 70 millimeters. Although the vignetting is noticeably smaller than at 24 millimeters and at 35. Now let's see on a crop sensor. It's the Canon EOS 250D. One thing we do notice from the start at 24 millimeters, the distortion it's much smaller. It's improved. But the thing I'm impressed is that is sharp from f2.8 although maybe a bit less, a bit softer than on a full frame, but it's pretty sharp, and it's not only in the center, it's pretty good in the corners also. And again, this sharpness stays with us, and it's good. It's very usable up to f16. Again, f22, it's too much effects of diffraction. So this doesn't, it's not related to the focal range. It doesn't matter. It's 24, 50, 70. It doesn't matter. And again, very, very good at 35 millimeters. Again, we're on the second set here. On the second test, it's on the crop sensor, the 250D, and it's expected that a lens perform less good, so we get less resolution, say less megapixels than on a full frame. But this lens, it's pretty good. It's pretty up there, close to the performance on the full frame. Yes, look at these corners. It's very good. What else can you want, especially at f16? And yeah, at f22 this is just for testing purpose. I really wouldn't use I think any of the lenses I had until now at f22, but f16 is good. 50 millimeters, very, very similar performance. It's good in the center from 2.8, and very good corners also from f4. The performance, the sharpness doesn't improve a lot, but just a slight at f5.6, and it keeps there the same performance at f11, f8. Yes, so again, on a crop sensor, we will see that the sharpness start to decrease a bit from f11, where on a full frame sensor it's sharp up to f16, but this is normal. Again, on the 70 millimeters, you see these corners are not actually in focus. It's not a sharpness issue. It's my fault because I moved the camera, and now I'm not shooting perpendicular to the plane of the books. And again, I can tell you that at f2.8 at 70 millimeters, it's a bit soft, especially in the corners on this crop sensor. But stepping down to f4, and you get very good results, and you get similar performance up to f11 again on the crop sensor, and up to f16 on the full frame. Yeah, this is a very good result on a crop sensor. And now let's see also the vignetting, the distortion on this lens, on this crop sensor. So it's still present. It's not as huge as it was on the full frame sensor, but it's there. You definitely see it. And the vignetting also, it is present, although it's much improved, especially the 24 millimeters where it caused a lot of issues on the full frame. It was very hard vignetting at f2.8, and it kept up to f8. At 35 millimeters and 50 millimeters, the vignetting is barely noticeable on this crop sensor, and the distortion also pretty much disappears from 35 millimeters, and it's no chance to see it at 50 millimeters. In the end, this is a very good lens, very good build quality, and this is the standard zoom. It's the first lens you need, and on on a camera, and it's the most versatile one. It offers you focal lengths from very wide, from 24 millimeters, to slight wide, 35 millimeters, the standard 50 millimeters, and it covers that short telephoto, which is 70 to 85 millimeters, which enables you to do some portraits or some shots where you want a tighter shot and avoid the distortion given by a wider focal length. And given its fast aperture, it's 2.8 all across the focal length, and its built-in optical image stabilizer, which is very good for shooting handheld in low light situations, or also for a video. This is a must-have lens. I didn't have any issues with it. It's what I look in a lens and try to find in a lens when I want to buy one, to give a performance which is available from the widest aperture, from 2.8, and it's available to the f/16, let's say, on all focal lengths. So I want performance good from 24 to 70, but also in the middle, 35 and 50 millimeters. And I want it to be sharp and usable from the wide open to f/16. This one offers you all the advantages. It is a bit big and heavy, although it's not as big and heavy as others. It's less than 1 kilogram. It's 800 and something. But if you would try to have the primes, the 24, 35, 50, and an 85, let's say, although each of these are much smaller and lighter, depending if you want to take it the 1.4 version, it will not be any difference. But if you take the standard one, so 24 millimeters 2.8, 35 f2, the nifty 50, and let's say 85 millimeters 1.8, those would be in total much heavier than this one. So yeah, go for it. Again, if you like my videos, don't forget, please like, comment, like, share, and subscribe, and click that bell to get all the notifications. Thank you, and until next time, bye bye.